Hey gang, Chonky here. Today I'm going to go over all of the current elite armor and weapon sets that are released in Dungeons of Sundaria. So this is going to be tier 1 and 2 and the Demon Lord sets for each class. I'm going to go ahead and list all of the buffs for each armor as I get to it, or weapon set, and I'll also list what each set is composed of. Now, when I say the armor set is a full 8 armor slots, what I mean by that is that the armor is headpiece or helmet, shoulders, chest, bracers, gloves, belt, pants, and boots. And that's 8 pieces of armor. So the reason why it'll say full 8 armor slots is it's a full set of armor aside from trinkets and a cape. Now, what's nice about the elite armor sets is even though there's 8 pieces, you do not need to collect all 8. You only need 6 to get the maximum bonus. So if you want to, you can do 6 from one armor set and 2 from another, so you can get the first skill on that one. Or you can mix and match. You can do 4 and 4, or you can do 5 and 3. You'll find a lot of cool combinations that you can do to really maximize the character to your liking. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and start with the tier 1 armors. We're going to go alphabetically. So starting with the Cleric, you have the Holy Order set. That's a full 8 armor slots. For the second bonus, you get a full HP Resurrection. The second bonus reduces the cooldown on Divine Shield by 4 seconds. The fourth bonus increases the healing and regen and increases your avatar bonuses all by 15%. That's huge. And the fifth bonus is that your Divine Shield has a 50% chance to cast regen on the target. Now keep in mind this means that your regen will also be buffed, so it's a really good heal on a 50% chance when you cast Shield. And then the sixth bonus is that the Channel Heal can hit a second target, and if you're playing in a full party of friends, this can be really useful. The Champion's first elite set is the Crypt Lord set. Now, this set benefits the one-handed weapons more than the two-handed weapons. For the bonuses, you have reducing the cooldown of Shield Bash by 3 seconds. Your Shield Throw will reduce an additional 10% damage when it returns. Shield Bash now hits and taunts all targets in front of you. Shield Bash also has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown of Cull the Weak, which is your big AoE pull. And the final bonus is it increases the damage of Shield Bash, Shield Throw, and Cull the Weak by 40%. Now this is a good way to make up for the damage you're not dealing using a one-handed weapon as opposed to a two-handed weapon. Because if you know the class bonuses, two-handed weapons for Champion, you just do a lot more damage overall. So that sixth bonus is really nice. The Ranger's first elite set is the Crypt Stalker set. Now this one, the bonuses, it reduces the cooldown of Toxic Arrow by 4 seconds. Poison Arrow has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown of Blight Arrow. It increases the damage of Poison Arrow and Blight Arrow by 40%. Paralyzing Shot has a 30% chance to cast a free Blight Arrow. And it also increases the AoE of Blight Arrow by 5 meters if you get all 6 pieces. Blight Arrow already has a decent AoE, and if you increase it by another 5 meters or about 15 feet if you're in America, that's a pretty good change. So all in all, that's a pretty decent set. The Rogue's first elite set is the Reaper set. Now, in my opinion, I'm going to try and give my opinion as little as possible. I think the Reaper set is kind of weak. You don't need to farm it, in my opinion. I think you could go straight into the Shadow Lord set, but we'll get to that. Anyway, so the Reaper set, the bonuses are it reduces the cooldown of Assassinate by 2 seconds. Backstab has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown on Assassinate. It increases the damage of Assassinate and Backstab by 20%. Backstab also has a 30% chance to cast a free Shadow Cloak. And the Backstab bonus damage no longer requires stealth. Now that's pretty cool because then you can just phase port Backstab without needing to stealth for the extra damage. So the Wizard, the Wizard's first elite set is the Destruction set. And the Destruction set is strong. So the first bonus reduces the cooldown on Flame Blast by 3 seconds. It also makes it that Flame Blast has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown of Meteor. It increases the damage of Flame Blast and Meteor by 40%. You get a free Flame Blast after you channel Cone of Fire for at least 1 second. And Meteor, for the final bonus, creates 2 meteors, 3 meters apart. 2 meteors, 3 meters apart. That's words. Now, the Destruction set, I think, is really, really strong. I'm not the biggest fan of Flame Blast. I just want to deal as much damage as possible. I know there are a lot of Wizard players who love Flame Blast. I have my breakdown on Wizards where I go into how you can cancel Flame Blast into another move if you want to stay active in the middle of your combo. If you're using Cone of Fire and then you stop moving for Flame Blast, you can cancel it by doing Meteor or Magic Missile or something. But Destruction set is really, really, really strong. So now we're going to go into the Tier 1 weapon sets. These require the same fragments that you used to get the Tier 1 armor sets. So you can use those fragments for the weapon set as well. Keep in mind the bonuses are very small compared to the armor sets due to each weapon set needing needing 2, maybe 3 pieces depending on the later sets. So starting out, we have the Cleric with the Grand Magistrix set, and this set increases the damage of Heavenly Strike by 50%. That's pretty impressive, seeing as how Heavenly Strike became one of my main damage-dealing moves. That, Holy Light, and Divine Sacrifice are my main rotation on Cleric, so Grand Magistrix is nice because it increases the damage of one of my main spells by 50%. The Champion has the Bone Crusher set. Now this set also benefits the one-handed fighting style, so Crypt Lord and Bone Crusher go together really well. The bonus for the Bone Crusher set is that Shield Bash will heal you for 5% of your maximum health. Not bad, especially if you get Shield Bash pretty quickly. The Ranger's first elite set is Morb's Seething Demise. This one is a bow and a ring. It increases the duration of Blight Arrow by 3 seconds. Blight Arrow is the ability that makes it so that all other nature damage is amplified on the target. So increasing the duration by 3 seconds, which I think at baseline is double. It's normally 3 seconds, so if you make it 6 seconds, that's huge. That's using Poison Arrow and Toxic Arrow, and also maybe the Rapid Fire, because that's nature damage, so you can really stack up the damage with that set. The Rogue has the Shadow Lord set. Now this is not to be confused with the Shadow Lord armor set. So there's 2 Shadow Lord sets for the Rogue. It's kind of confusing. So the Shadow Lord weapon set benefits Assassinate. The bonuses are that Assassinate resets the cooldown of Phase Port, which is the teleport that stuns, and that Backstab has a 100% chance to critical strike. That's some good damage. You know, early game, if you are struggling with damage as the Rogue, you can pick up the Shadow Lord set and the Reaper set if you want to. That also will help your Backstab and Assassinate. But the automatic crit and resetting the cooldown on your teleport is pretty handy. The Wizard set for Tier 1 is the Charred Walker set, and this makes it so that using Cone of Fire after you've cast Emberlance, so you've cast Emberlance, which is the floating orbs, and then using Cone of Fire while you have Emberlance active will generate 1 Emberlance a second up to your maximum. So if you don't have the Fire Lord set, your maximum is 3. If you do have the Fire Lord set, your maximum is 5. And as long as you're channeling Cone of Fire, every second you'll get an extra Emberlance if you can fit it. So it's not bad. I used it a lot early game, and you can get a decent amount of extra damage from it. Now, going into the Tier 2 armor sets. Now, the Tier 2 armor sets and weapon sets are found in the Icy Depths. You can also find the Tier 2 armor set in Dreadforge. So for the Tier 2 armor sets, starting at the top, we have the Cleric's Harbinger set. Now this set is more geared towards more DPS and not as much heals as the Holy Order set. So the bonuses are that you reduce the cooldown of Holy Blast by 4 seconds. Holy Blast has a 30% chance to cast or to reset the cooldown on Divine Sacrifice. Divine Sacrifice has a 30% chance to cast a free Holy Light. Increases the area of effect of Divine Sacrifice by 50%. And then finally, increases the damage of Holy Light, Holy Blast, and Divine Sacrifice by 50%. That's a lot of damage increase overall. Now, the Tier 2 armor set for the champion is the Berserker set. This one pulls away from the one-handed weapon class and goes more towards the two-handed weapon class. So the bonuses for Berserker are that it reduces the cooldown on charge by 4 seconds, but charge will no longer stun. Charge has a 30% chance to perform a free Unstoppable, which is the move that makes you immune to crowd control. Mighty Blow has a 70% chance to reset charge, which is nice because you spam Mighty Blow if you can. The fifth bonus is it increases the damage of Slash, Mighty Blow, and Charge by 30%, which is really nice. And then the final bonus is that Charge refreshes Aggression duration, which I believe Aggression is your attack speed up with Lifesteal. So if you pop Unstoppable, pop Aggression, you're in the middle of your combo, hit them with the Charge, you reset Aggression, keep up with the fat DPS and heals. It's actually a really powerful set. So the Rangers Tier 2 Elite set is the Dread Ranger set. Now this increases the damage of Deadly Shot by 35%, which is the aim down, like the single shot Ranger ability. It increases the damage of Deadly Shot by 35%. Deadly Shot has a 50% chance to form a free Toxic Arrow, which is the AoE poison. Deadly Shot has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown of Poison Arrow. Deadly Shot causes your next aim shot, which is your auto attack, to fire multiple arrows at all targets in front of you, essentially giving you one big AoE shotgun hit. And then the sixth bonus is that it reduces the cooldown of Deadly Shot by 3 seconds. Now that's pretty nice. Deadly Shot was really strong before, being just a single target move, and now it has a bunch of buffs to your other essential kit moves for the Ranger. The Rogues Tier 2 armor set is the Shadow Lord set, not to be confused with the Shadow Lord set for weapons. So the bonuses for the Shadow Lord armor set are it reduces the cooldown on phase port by 3 seconds. Phase Carnage has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown on phase port. It increases the void damage of Phase Carnage by 30%. Phase Port has a 30% chance to perform a free Phased Carnage. So it's hard to say those words interchanging like that. And Vampiric Blades reduces the damage by an additional 5% and restores an additional 2.5% of all damage dealt. So the damage reduction from Vampiric Blades is kind of asinine right now since Shadow Cloak is so busted. The devs are changing Shadow Cloak, so that sixth bonus might become really essential. But the increase of damage to Phased Carnage, and the increased utility of Phased Port by bringing it off of cooldown makes rogues way more agile with more DPS. And the Shadow Lord set actually works really good with the Demon Lord set on rogue, but we'll get to that. So the Wizard's Tier 2 armor class is the Fire Lord set. If you've watched my Wizard breakdown video, you'll know how much I love this set. So the bonuses are, it increases the radius of fire armor by 400%. Huge. Casting Ember Lance while fire armor is active will continuously channel up to 5 Ember Lances every 2 seconds. So what that means is as long as you have 1 Ember Lance active, if you have fire armor on, you will generate an extra Ember Lance every 2 seconds until you get up to 5. And then if you lose one, you will work on replenishing it. It's pretty nice. Increases the damage of fire armor by 165% and Ember Lance by 20%. Increases the damage reduction of fire armor by 30%. Now, that's tricky wordplay. It increases your bonus armor, not flat damage reduction. So don't get confused by that. It's just armor gain, not magic reduction, or not damage reduction flat. And then the sixth bonus is reduces the cooldown of Cone of Fire by 6 seconds. That cuts the cooldown in half, which is massive, since Cone of Fire, in my opinion, is the strongest move in the game. You can melt enemies with this, so by getting it back so quickly, you can just melt even faster. So let's get into the tier 2 armor, or tier 2 weapon sets. My apologies. The tier 2 weapon sets are currently only found in the Icy Depths. You can find tier 2 armor in Icy Depths and Dreadforge, but the tier 2 weapons are only in the Icy Depths. So going down the list, we have the Pious set with the Clerics. That the bonuses with the Pious set are that Smite, which is a melee, or not, sorry, Smite is a ranged attack move. Smite will become a melee ability and deals an additional 75% physical damage. It also reduces the cooldown on Heavenly Strike by 3 seconds, and then increases your melee power by 75% of your spell power, and it also gives you auto loot. That's really strong. If you have a bunch of spell power, you will get a bunch of melee power, and the combination of those two kind of makes it worth having such a slow melee attack. So you can't attack people from far away, but you can cleave for fat damage if they're right next to you. So the Pious set might be something you're interested in. The Champions Tier 2 weapon set is the Kraken set. Now this increases, this benefits Slash. So Slash increases the damage of your next Mighty Blow by 50%, and Slash decreases the cooldown of Mighty Blow by 1 second. Increases your crit damage by 30%, and auto loot. So essentially, whenever you use your auto attack, it will reduce the cooldown of Mighty Blow by a full second, which Mighty Blow already does not have a huge cooldown. So the fact that you're decreasing the cooldown of Mighty Blow by 1 second, and then it increases the damage of your next Mighty Blow by 50% every time you slash, you're essentially guaranteeing that your next Mighty Blow is going to be way stronger, and now you are increasing your crit damage by 30%, which is a massive boost. The Rangers Tier 2 weapon set is the Wanderer set. Now this set also benefits Deadly Shot, like the Dread Ranger set. So this increases the damage of Deadly Shot by 30%. Deadly Shot will increase the damage of your next Aim Shot, which is your auto attack, by 100%. Aim Shot kills reduce the cooldown of Deadly Shot by 2 seconds. And then auto loot. So pretty nice to be able to empower your auto attacks with Deadly Shot, giving it 100% damage on your next hit, which if you're using the Dread Ranger set, if you use Deadly Shot, you're gonna hit everybody in front of you anyway. So Deadly Shot, and then AoE auto attack that does 100% extra damage. That's crazy. Going to the Rogue, the Rogue's Tier 2 weapon set is the Cric's set. Now this set, I don't know if they're gonna change, because I know they're gonna be modifying Shadow Cloak in the future. But currently the bonuses are that it extends the duration of Shadow Cloak by 2 seconds, it reduces the cooldown of Shadow Cloak by 2 seconds, and it increases your void damage by 30%. Now that's all void damage. If you look at your abilities for Rogue, you actually do a lot of void damage in general, so that is a huge boost. It also gives you auto loot. The Wizard's Tier 2 weapon set is the Ashen Magi set. Now this set is crazy good. It in my opinion, it finally made sleep really useful. So for the Ashen Magi set, killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of sleep by 1 second, which is pretty handy because sleep actually has kind of a lengthy cooldown. Sleep will increase the fire damage all fire damage you deal by 60% for 3 seconds. So you cast sleep, and now your Ember Lances hurt more, your fire armor hurts more, your auto attacks hurt more, your Cone of Fire hurts more. You're probably not using Meteor after you use sleep, but if you do, that one Meteor will hurt more. And then casting sleep will also reduce the cooldown of Cauterize by 6 seconds. And at a base cooldown, that's half of your cooldown on your heal. For the Wizard, being still probably the squishiest class in the game, that's massive that you can get your heal back so quickly. It also gives you auto loot. So now we're going to go over the Demon Lord set. I'm not putting these as like a tier 3 set because the Demon Lord set is universal. Every class has a Demon Lord set. So the Demon Lord set for the Cleric increases the duration of Heavenly Strike by 3 seconds, and killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of Heavenly Strike by 1 second. So kind of like how the Wizard can reduce the cooldown on Sleep with the Ashen Magi set, same thing works with the Demon Lord set for Heavenly Strike on the Cleric. For the Champion, the Demon Lord set, enemies struck with shield throw are forced to fight you for 2 seconds, and killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of Call the Weak by 1 second. So this is giving you more access to pull more aggro off of your teammates and tank more damage. The Ranger's Demon Lord set, the Poison Arrow deals an additional 50% nature damage, and killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of Poison Arrow by 1 second. So that right there is huge. Poison Arrow already does pretty good nature damage, and you're boosting the damage by 50% while also reducing the cooldown every 1 second when you kill someone. You're almost going to be able to spam Poison Arrow if you're fighting a whole bunch of people. The Rogue's Demon Lord set, Phased Carnage deals 50% increased void damage, and killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of Phased Carnage by 1 second. So keeping in line with the killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of a certain move, but then Phased Carnage deals an additional 50% void damage. So if you're using the Demon Lord weapon set with the Shadow Lord armor set, you're getting an 80% boost to the void damage on Phased Carnage, and Phased Carnage is the Rogue's probably strongest move if all parts of it hit, because it's like a flurry of attacks. And the Demon Lord set for the Wizard, the bonuses are that it increases the damage of Flame Blast by 40%, and killing an enemy reduces the cooldown of Flame Blast by 40%. So if you're using the Demon Lord set with the Fire Lord set, Flame Blast is actually going to become incredibly strong, as well as pushing all enemies away from you when it lands. So it actually makes Flame Blast a lot better. Well, gang, thank you so much for watching my video that breaks down the Elite Armor and Weapon sets. As a little bonus, I'll show you how I got up to that little room. They're these little jump points or boost points, I call them, where you get your character wedged when you dodge, and it catapults you up. You can do this on like rock surfaces all over the place. But this one in particular is right here. You just kind of, pew, just like that. Took a little bit of fall damage, but here I am. So anyway, yeah, like I said, you can find those all over the map. So if you find some cool ones, let me know. But for now, we're going to cut the video here. I should have some more videos coming out that's going to finish the Dreadforge stuff as far as the quests and the elite fragments found in the Dreadforge and where to find them. But for now, just thank you so much for watching. Catch me on Twitch sometime, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.